What's up, oh captain, my captain? First of all, it is known that there are 30 days in September, and April, June, and November, and all the rest have 31 except for February alone. So, if you cared to go back, you could kind of hear me loosely mention that I had made a mistake in the last video about the day. So, busting my balls, always. All right. So, S&P 500, ETF, the SPY, still in long-term uptrend, making higher highs, higher lows. Recent trend action was in a sideways range for a couple of months. Recently gapped up and broke out to all-time highs and have been going sideways for the past 4 days. The ATR on some of the widest range days been about $2, $3, $4. So somewhere around $3. If the SPY has a wide range days is about what we're thinking, but long-term uptrend still intact. So pre-market movers. C-Bio is a biotech in the healthcare sector, is also a penny stock. So when we saw this pre-market move in, we know it's a former runner and could get pumped up. So let's actually get this pre-market data. So we know it's an active pre-market mover. About 500,000 shares done in the pre-market in the penny stock. So we open up, and I'm thinking this is more like a scalp than anything else. So just a trade that I wanted to bring to your attention. Nothing that's in my wheelhouse, but we kind of go sideways out the open, spike up, you kind of test the prior pre-market high, flag up. So it could have been risking in this flag down to VWAP, 10 cents for for the measured move at least. For this was about 50 cents. So you get somewhere around 50 cents over here. So thinking just quick like penny stock, very volatile. In play, pre-market, former runner, so not holding this for a trend trade, but could be a nice little scalp to generate positive risk reward. So two trades that stuck out today as we talk about. I'm sorry if it's really windy. It's windy out. That we only need a couple trades a day to kind of make your day, make your week, whatever, or one trade a day, right? So PayPal. PayPal's in the financial services sector. What PayPal does is they allow you to pay for stuff online, which is super duper nice. The big picture trend is definitely up. Kind of broke out of this sideways for like a year, maybe on a breakaway gap. Higher high, higher low, so breaking higher highs. The recent trend action is kind of I'm willing to call this about 4 days overlap. I mean, kind of. At least the past 2 days kind of overlapping. So, how could this possibly trigger? Well, the all-time high at this point is 51.39. So if we blast it through there in volume, you could buy the first pullback after 10 o'clock, as long as it's above the opening range. If it held above the level for a good 30 minutes or something like that, just holding strongly above the level, not price rejecting away, lack of price rejection. That could be one. We also got our intraday uptrend kind of building into a level, or like maybe price kind of tested the level and then broke out, prior resistance became support. So could have just seen like any of those things. What we ended up getting intraday was that so we open flat, which is nice, test down, which is really nice for a buy, kind of open test the level. So if you had an alert, maybe had the alert kind of down here somewhere. Anywho, we test the level, kind of go just hold sideways underneath it. So at this point, we are, at that point you are above the prior day's high. So technically, it's full cove H, still in the other day's range, so still in the prior 3 days range. So maybe that's one of my rules. I don't want to trade within the prior 3 days range. So we technically do get above it above the yellow line, and then we kind of hold sideways above here. So you could have thrown on along, anywhere in here. With their stop down below here, so risking 15 cents. This prior resistance became support later. That could have been another entry. So you just kind of long sideways anywhere in here. Could have just gone long anywhere in there. So hope that kind of comprehensively covered my scenarios for PayPal, which is definitely a trend trade. Trading in the direction of the trend with a couple days overlap. Not overextended. It's kind of like riding the Keltner band. And Cove H in the direction of the trend with no overhead resistance being the most key part right there. Also, CTRL, same thing. So this is a tech company, technology sector. Big picture uptrends. So we've been making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Recent trend action is that we've just kind of been going, sideways, kind of lack of price rejection from the all-time high, which was 1861. So kind of the same thought process. We don't want a naked gap. If I naked gap above here, I'm willing to pass on that trade. By much, right? If it was like high was 1861, naked gap to like 1865, I'm not gonna, be too upset about that. But as long as we don't naked gap and then go straight up to like $20, or naked gap and then naked gap up to like $20, something like that, that's where I would avoid it. But we could have opened below here and blasted through here on volume. Could have bought the first pullback or some kind of flag or something along those lines. Could have had the intraday uptrend through this level. Prior resistance becomes support there. Could have just broke through the level and held above there. For maybe like 15-20 minutes. Maybe we would have gone long. Look for a long after that being our trigger. Just like trading, holding above the level, lack of price rejection. So we do open. So the open was 1860, which is literally the low of the day. The all-time high was 1861. So we open up, but we kind of just go, sideways. We don't spike up straight to $20 right off the open. So I do like that. I don't know if there's really a low risk entry in here. We're still within the opening range up to here. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if you could just there was no move. So this is not an ABCD. So I don't think this is an ABCD. But, I could have said just a little consolidation after we break out. The volume's not terribly great, but the important parts are there's no resistance above here. We're showing there's no price rejection right on the open, even though we opened up. It's kind of gyrating sideways. So once we break out of the opening range high, could have bought the first pullback. Prior resistance here becomes support. Maybe bought right in here. So just buying the pops basically on the way up. I don't know what you got. As far as I don't know if there's really a really clean spot in here to enter, but this meets my criteria of Cove H outside the past 3 days range, no resistance above, trading with the trend, those things. So I really like what you said about the girlfriend thing, about looking what's wrong first. That's definitely I think it's gonna keep me out of trouble in the first place, and also I'm gonna use that in the real world because I do the same fucking thing. I get caught up on and it's no mystery why the chicks I like, I fucking chase them away because I'm just sitting here I'm a chaser. So push away the ones that I want because I chase after them, and the ones that I immediately find out what I don't like about them are drawn to me. So maybe I should try something different, huh? So also just the confidence of just having setups, having the big parts that make A+ trades, overlapping bars, no resistance above, lack of price rejection, those things, and just the confidence of just following my rules. So generally, just a couple rules I have set. I do not want to trade within the prior 3 days range. I do not want to trade within the 15-minute opening range. I'm going to set that at the 9:45 high opening range or low. Just because I know myself, dude, and I know 10 o'clock is probably better, but I'm just going to start with the 9:45 one and just go from there. At least that is, let's say, hey, as an objective spot, I'm only going to take Cove entries. So we'll not enter a trade if we're not in Cove. And then, there's one more. I'm not going to trade any naked gaps up. This, if this opened, like I said, 1862, I mean, technically is that a naked gap up? Yes. But a ridiculous naked gap up, a significant amount. I mean, maybe I should quantify, what percentage I'm not willing to naked gap up trade or something like that. Anything over, 5% or something, I will not naked gap up trade. And I'm also not going to trade an opening spike. Oh, shit, I didn't do the ATR thing. So ATR and CTRL maybe $2 here, about a buck here. So maybe, instead of wide range day, could have expected $1.50. So, hey, look at that, $1.50 on the dot. No shit. Let's go back and look at people. So wide range day here was, just under $1. Let's call it $1. 150, so maybe a 125. Ooh, just like 130, so that's pretty decent. Pretty decent way to go, like 137 or something like that. So yeah, dude. Fucking A, just asking myself the questions of: Are we within a range on the daily? Are we within the past 3 days range? Are we within the opening range? Are we right under resistance? Are we right above support if I'm looking for a short? Have we gone too far too fast? Is this a naked gap? If I can answer those questions, I feel like that's going to keep me out of the most trouble right along the bat. Going through my spreadsheet so far, like a lot of my trades, just like a lot of the worst ones, I just didn't have a setup, or I was chasing an opening spike, or gap up, go up, some bullshit like that. So there was, as Bella said, and you keep saying, there's a lot of good actually in my trade. Like I had some really decent trades, and it just eliminating some of these problem trades that I had where I was trading something with absolutely no setup. It's like that's a totally avoidable loss, and would have put me into better stocks as it were. So I sent my money off to Bulls, so I should be going live next week. I'm gonna try to go live by Monday. But I'm gonna finish the rest of this week, like knock out the rest of the spreadsheet. Keep sending you the videos. I've got to fill out their fucking test, and then like talk to the dude chai latte, and then talk to him, and then I should be ready to go on Monday. But focusing on the process, having confidence, and just I'm following my rules every time because I have rules now. I think is going to bring me much more consistent results than what I have past experienced. All right, dude, that is it. I will hit you up later.